show you something beautiful.
Hello people of the internet. I finally found a video that annoyed me enough to dust off the old YouTube channel, and that is a video of Mundane Matt being an apologist for a rapist or child molester, both. Either way, it doesn't really matter. So here we go.
Hey, what's going on everybody? My name is Mundane Matt, here with a story for you that I don't have an opinion on strongly one way or another. I mean, I do and I don't, because part of me kind of feels for the person at the heart of the story.
Alright, here we go, right off the top. Not 20 seconds into the video and he's already talking about feelings.
But at the same time, there were crimes committed, and that is something worth discussing. So, in Hollywood, Alabama, you have a 19-year-old girl by the name of Mackenzie Lee Guffey, and she's currently charged with a host of offenses, including second-degree rape, enticing a child for immoral purposes, and possession and dissemination of child pornography. She's currently facing 20 years in jail and a $30,000 fine if convicted.
Alright, this is the only bone that I'm going to throw Mundane Matt or this 19-year-old girl, which is she hasn't been convicted yet, and I am a big believer in innocent until proven guilty. So there is that.
She's also 5 to 6 weeks pregnant with this particular boy's child. Now, if you've started going, fucking lock her up, hold on.
No, not hold on at all. No. If she did these things, then yeah, lock her the fuck up.
So, yes, this girl is 19. This boy's 14. The legal age of consent in Alabama is 16. Still illegal. But they met back in December. They started bumping uglies, right? She even stayed with him for a couple weeks last December, where they then made the homemade porno, and they engaged in sexual acts multiple times, and she got pregnant.
He's 14, she's 19, they fucked, they made a videotape, they fucked some more, lock her the fuck up.
Now, the parents of the 14-year-old let her stay there, so one could assume that the parents involved were involved to the point of knowing that, like, she was probably his girlfriend, that she was probably someone of whom there was a relationship. But according to her grandmother, she saw them together recently, and they weren't touchy-feely. She didn't know what their relationship was.
Sounds like to me that his parents and her grandmother were complicit in this and should be brought up on charges for it. I mean, we would if the rapist was a male, right? And the 14-year-old is a girl?
Now, Mackenzie herself has had a very rough childhood. Her parents divorced when she was 10. She moved from, like, Fleabag motels to rundown mobile homes. Her parents abused drugs, and she was basically left to raise her younger siblings by herself until they went to go live with their grandparents. And when they went to go live with their grandparents, she was, like, you know, lice-bitten and flea-bitten and lice-ridden or whatever the fuck it was.
Sounds to me like she had a very horrible upbringing, very horrible parents, and had a very horrible childhood. But what does any of this have to do with her molesting, raping, getting pregnant, making a homemade porno with a 14-year-old child?
She had a very rough childhood, and so she has always kind of not had that normality, all right? And so she graduated high school last year, got a job at a rug plant. Her grandfather died. That destroyed her mentally. She got hurt on the job. That destroyed her further. And according to her grandmother, she was just looking for someone to hold on to.
She graduated high school, she got a job, her grandfather died, and then she got hurt on her job. Those are all things that happen to normal people. That seems like she's got her life under control at some point. I mean, to graduate high school, to have a job, I understand losing a grandfather probably was depressing, I'm sure. Getting hurt on the job, I've been in that situation. That's really shitty and it sucks. I understand that. But this whole thing of she was looking for someone to hold on to, yeah, they're called fucking friends. She could have been friends with this 14-year-old kid, and nothing would have been wrong with that. That's all she needed. She didn't need to sleep with him. This is all bullshit excuses. No one would make this excuse if she was a fucking 19-year-old male, and the male would have slept with a fucking 14-year-old female and got her pregnant.
She happened to meet this 14-year-old boy through a mutual friend, and it progressed. Now, I'm not excusing what she did. I'm not excusing anything.
You're not excusing it, any of it. Okay, well then I guess job's done. In the video, why did you even make the video if you're not excusing it? But I will say this, it does sound like you are excusing it, talking about stuff like her grandfather dying and graduating high school and getting a job and her parents being bad people and bad upbringing and stuff like that. Sounds like excuses to me.
But part of me, again, feels extreme sympathy because of the horrible upbringing that she had, and that's kind of where I'm torn on this.
There's nothing to be torn about here, Matt. What she did is unexcusable. I understand having sympathy for someone that had a rough childhood and a bad upbringing, but that doesn't excuse crime, especially that of rape and child molesting. What she did cannot go unpunished. And don't look now, but you're making excuses for her.
Because these are serious charges. As I said, she faces 20 years in jail if convicted. And I think probably the most of it has to do with the homemade porno.
No, Matt. The most has to do with all of it. That she raped a 14-year-old. That she got impregnated by him. That she made a porno with him. All of it. The whole thing. And it's all bad. And she should be punished for it. If 20 years is what she gets, then 20 years is what she deserves. I would say she deserves more.
Because not only did she record it on her phone, she sent it to the kid. She sent it to the 14-year-old.
So not only did she rape a minor, make a porno with a minor, but then she distributed porn to a minor and distributed child porn to a minor. Let me put it this way. He raped a minor, he made a porno with a minor, he then distributed porn to a minor, and then he distributed child pornography to a minor. Does it not sound just as bad when I say he instead of she? It should.
Okay, it was on his phone and it showed him in a state of undress. They didn't go into detail of what's on it, but that's essentially what it was. And because he's under the age, it's considered like child pornography.
It's not considered like child pornography. It is child pornography. Get your fucking shit together.
Which is a very, very, very serious crime and not one that should ever be looked at lightly.
You're right, Matt. Child pornography, child molestation, rape should never be looked at lightly in any circumstances, male or female, as the perpetrator. Making excuses is making it light.
And so you've got this situation where you've got a girl who maybe isn't all the way there in terms of a maturity level, engaging in a relationship with a guy 5 years her junior in a state where they're halfway between the legal consent age. She gets pregnant. She goes on Facebook. She starts boasting about it, right? And
what, Matt? What? You make a new excuse for her that she's not mentally capable or mentally mature, as if that's a fucking excuse at all for rape. And then you bring up that she went on Facebook and bragged about it? Come on, that's such fucking bullshit. She bragged about raping a 14-year-old? Getting pregnant by him? Did she also brag about making a porno with him? Jesus fucking Christ, what the fuck is wrong with you? What is wrong with anyone that doesn't see what she did as fucking disgusting?
It gets caught because she goes to seek Medicaid, and when talking to a social worker, she says that the father was 14 and the social worker was legally bound to turn that in. So she turned it over to the cops arrested her, the cops interviewed her, and then the police chief, who has a 13-year-old son himself, says she feels absolutely no remorse and was bragging about it. But again, that ties into her emotional and mental mindset. Like, do we know everything about her right now?
First, I'm thankful for the social worker doing their job and turning her over to the police, and for the police arresting her as she should be arrested. As for her having any remorse for it, yeah, I would definitely say she doesn't if she was going on Facebook and bragging about raping a 14-year-old child. I don't really give a shit about her mental stability or emotional stability or any of that stuff. She's not mentally fucking retarded. And what do you mean we don't know enough about her or know anything about her? You just got done telling us about her shitty life and how she was raised by shitty parents and had to go live in shitty places until she went to her grandparents. She was still able to go to school, graduate, I assume on time, and get a job. She can't be that much of an emotional wreck. You're just making excuses.
Because I don't look at this from her perspective as being a malicious act. I don't look at this from her perspective as a predatory act. I look at this as a person who has had a very rough life and found someone to hold on to, and maybe he wasn't feeling the same way. Again, I have no idea. I'm speculating entirely on that.
That's your biggest problem here, Matt, is you're not thinking of her as a predator. You're not looking at her as a rapist. You're looking at her as a female who had feelings for someone and was just looking to hold on to them. Bullshit. Fucking bullshit. If this was a man, you would not be thinking this way. If this was a man, you would be looking at the perspective of a predator. You should also think about his perspective. How about you haven't even brought that up yet? This is a 14-year-old that's gonna father a child. 14. This is like the Adam Sandler movie when he had a kid when he was like 12. This is fucking unbelievable. His life is fucking ruined now because he has a child. Now maybe he wanted to have a kid with her, maybe he didn't, I don't know. But either way, his life is fucked now because of her raping him at the age of 14. Get your head out of your ass, Matt. What the fuck are you thinking? You should look at every criminal the same way, as a criminal, and that's it. Now, I don't want to get on a tangent about criminals per se, but she raped a 14-year-old child, and she should be looked at as a rapist. Nothing else. Now, when this goes to court, if she's somehow found innocent, other than, oh, she's a female, so let's give her a break, then fine. All of this is for nothing.
It's a tough one. It's one of the reasons why I cannot formulate a hard stance on this. I'm not of the lock her up, but I'm also of the make her pay, because she did break the law. You can't excuse the homemade porno.
No, you're wrong. It's not a tough one. It's an easy one. She should be locked up. And the fact that you don't think she should be locked up means that you don't think a rapist should be locked up. Let that sink into your head right now. But you do think she should pay for making a homemade porno. Let me ask you this, Matt. Millions of legal-aged, consenting adults make homemade pornos all the time. Should they have to pay? I mean, I understand making the porno with a child is wrong, where just legal adults making pornos is just legal adults making pornos. But why is that where you're drawing the line here, is making the porno? Shouldn't you be drawing the line at the fact that she raped a fucking underage child?
But the question is, where do you guys stand on this? Do you think this person deserves leniency at all because of her upbringing? Do you think she had the full mental capacity to know what she was doing or to know that it was illegal?
I think I've made my standpoint very clear where I stand on this. And I think you did too, Matt.
Do you think that she should be held to the highest, the fullest extent of the law and spend the 20 years in prison? I mean, these are situations where this isn't like a teacher in a high school preying on a younger student.
If a teacher is having sex with an underage student, then yes, this is exactly the same as that teacher preying on the underage student.
This isn't like the 50-year-old teacher, I believe in, like, I know there's a teacher recently that just kidnapped a 15-year-old student and they're gone somewhere right now. Like, that's not that situation. This to me feels like a young girl fell in love. Maybe she's not 19 in age mentally, I don't think, because of her upbringing. And she's fell in love with a 14-year-old. She got pregnant. It's what she wanted. She wanted a family of her own. And I don't view it as being this utterly horrible, malicious act, but it is an illegal one. And I'm just confused because I don't know what to think on this.
I don't know anything about this teacher that kidnapped a student. I don't know anything about this, so I'm not going to comment on that. I guess all I really want to say now to end this is, since when did something being illegal not be enough for it to be wrong? That's something you should think about, Matt. Not to mention everything else that you've said. You should definitely think about all the excuses, all the apologies, the fact that we both know that if this was a role reversal, you would not be feeling this way about a 19-year-old man having sex with a 14-year-old girl and getting her pregnant. If this video was you trying to see things on both sides, you picked the wrong topic. You're wrong.
When I read this story last night, I'm like, I'll sit on it for a day.
A day. You thought about it for a day. I've been sitting on your video for like a week thinking about what I was going to say, how I was going to reply. You gave it a day, and this is what you came up with. Apologizing for a rapist.
And I feel like the police are trying to like go, oh, she's just a rapist. She's just a rapist. She shows no remorse. But if she's in love with the kid, like legitimately, truly in love with the kid, she wouldn't show remorse. I don't know. That's what I would love your guys' feedback on this one. Like, these are the tough stories that we come across doing this sort of thing, that it's hard to have a streamlined approach to.
I want the cops to look at it as she's just a rapist because she's just a rapist. Nothing else matters. Doesn't matter if she's male or female. She's 19 years old. She had sex with a 14-year-old kid. That is illegal. It's wrong. She raped him. End of story. Nothing else matters. And I don't give a shit if she's in love. I don't fucking care if they're in love or not. That doesn't change the fact that it's wrong. You wouldn't make love a fucking argument for a fucking guy. Where do we draw the line then if it's love? What if she was 35 and he was 14? What if she was 54 and he was 14? Love? Does that matter? No, this is bullshit. I used to have some respect left for Mundane Matt, but I have now lost all respect for him. I'm glad I stopped watching your videos a long time ago. For everyone that's watched this, thank you. If you liked what you seen, please hit the like button. If you're not, let me know what you thought, why you didn't like it. All right? Have a good day.
There are no strings